And whatever, there was so many different ones. I can't even. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
As I said before, you're a very strong young lady.
Thank you.
And you are going to get over this struggle. We know that. We know this. How about you, Brittany? Have you ever been counseled or been treated for your anxiety?
Well, I've been told by many of my friends that I should go, and I think the only person that is stopping me is myself. But I think it's because I don't think that it would help me. Because I have this thing where people don't really understand me that much. That's probably also my fault. But I feel like I've been to a lot of older people, like my mom. I would try to tell her about things that are happening, or I tried going to my past, and it just felt like it was just going through. Yeah. So I felt like it was just of no help. And I also do remember an incident in fourth form when I came to school really upset because I don't really have the best relationship with my dad, and we were arguing like it was something stupid, to be very honest, but we were arguing from the night before come up to the morning of school, and I was dropped off and I was just there venting my friends. And because I had like asthma, the more I spoke, the more I realized I was like, oh my god, I can't breathe, you know. I started to cough a lot, and I tried to calm down myself, but by the first class I coughed a little bit more, and like the nurse came and she started to assess me, and she's like, this is not an asthma attack, this is a panic attack. So she said, I have to send you to the guidance counselor. And because I've been dealing with my father for years, I didn't feel like there's nobody that could really help me, because my father and I, we really just don't work at all, because he has his personality and he doesn't really believe in, you know, listening to younger, you know, voices. So she carried me to the guidance counselor, and I sat there for the entire session, which was an hour, and I didn't say anything. She was just there talking to me, and I was just staring, you know, and I just didn't say anything. After a while, probably like to the end, she started typing. That kind of got to me because I am a writer. I love to write my thoughts. I love to write poems and songs. So, you know, she started writing, and then she made the suggestion that I wrote a letter to my dad. I also tried that. And when I did the day, he didn't really acknowledge it at all. I also tried again later on in life over WhatsApp. Anytime I would send a paragraph, he'd either see it or he'd just disregard it and say something that is just out of pocket. So I just said, well, it's best I shut up because nobody's trying to really hear what I'm saying.
So that's where you should close your door now because you don't think you have anyone listening?
Yeah. I feel like the only person that can listen to me right now is God, and even sometimes I don't even go to God because I feel a little bit unworthy to go to him because I know the answer, but I'm not really going to the answer. And then I would have my friends sometimes, but even them don't really understand because, you know, people mostly can talk to you when they can relate. Because even if I go to counseling, I still would have to make that conscious decision to get over it, you know, and just listen to what I'm saying. It still all boils down to me. And a part of me, I don't want to face a lot of what I've been through because
so
it's a lot.
There's
Yeah, sometimes avoiding it is better because once you admit it, it becomes real.
Yeah.
So you put up a mechanism of avoiding or putting a block between you and what happened.
Yeah.
Abigail, I am going to pounce on you.
Okay.
And what I'm going to ask you, you had professional counseling, right? And I'm going to let you use your experience of professional counseling to kind of motivate Brittany to get professional counseling. So I want you to turn to her and just let her know. Because what you said, why I'm asking this question, you said that most persons that you spoke to, they do not understand what you're going through. Now you have a young lady that's sitting right next to you. She has been through a lot, just like you. Maybe not similar stuff, but situations are almost the same. So she had professional counseling. So hearing from her point of view with professional counseling, let us see if it will motivate you to seek professional counseling. All right?
Okay.
I felt like you at one point, Britannia. Growing up, I grew up in Grand Cayman, and if anybody knows Caymanians, they can be very colorist. And I'm a dark-skinned girl. I felt very inferior to the girls that were lighter than me. Up to this day, I hate my hair and the texture of it. It is never out. I never wear it out. I could never do what you're doing right now.
It took a while.
And when I was in Grand Cayman, I really struggled with my self-image and the way I viewed myself. I had major body dysmorphia. I still do, but slowly getting over it. I hated everything about my skin color. I hated everything about myself. Genuinely, I had a hatred for myself. And I used to beg and plead to my mom to get me therapy because I knew I wasn't okay. I used to go to the bathroom and cry. I used to admire the girls with the long 3C hair and the brown skin and the green eyes, and I used to say, why can't I look like that? It was a big thing for me. And my mom finally realized that I needed help because I had to ask a couple of times, but she finally realized that I'm really not okay. I got help. I got to a therapist. Her name was Miss April. And Miss April was a really nice lady. She gave me a lot of tips and tricks that I could do, but prior to going to Miss April, I thought there was nobody that could understand me because I would talk to my mom and she would brush it off like it wasn't serious. Like, me coming to her once was not enough for her to realize that something was wrong. I had to beg and plead and cry for her to actually move to get that. And even when I went through my sexual assault and I asked her, Mom, I needed therapy, I had to wait until I got a job to be able to bring myself to therapy because it was like she just never took it serious. She never did. And I felt as though I spoke to my mom and it was like nothing. Nobody's taking me serious. I spoke to friends and maybe friends are a bit better, but I still feel like they didn't get me. I thought that I was just, nobody could understand me until I went to Miss April. She made me know that sometimes talking to somebody that you have no connection with, talking to somebody that you have no type of relationship, no type of emotional connection at all, just a complete stranger that is educated in that line, actually knows. Sometimes she finishes my sentences.
Yeah.
And even when I came to Jamaica here and I started going to my therapist here, Miss Campbell, it was the same thing. She made me realize things that I didn't even knew were affecting me, because when I was younger, I used to live with my grandma and my mom moved to Grand Cayman. And even though as a child I understood that she moved to make money for me and my sister, it still affected me because I would go to school and I would see the girls with their moms and I did not have my mom. I had to stand and look. And I would mention that and she said, you know that affects you, right? And I was like, no, but I understand why she did it. She says, yes, we understand, but she still wasn't there. And so sometimes there are so much things that are lying underneath that you don't even realize that is there. And with the help from those professionals, with those diagnoses, hopefully it doesn't get to that line, but with the medication or whatever, it can help.
Very touchy about that medication part.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't get to that line because that's when it's really serious. But it helps. It helps. I tried the medication line, did not like that. I stopped it.
I don't think anybody would. Trust me, as a girl that is always on pills, it's not fun.
It made me feel so groggy.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. But yeah, you should get some help. You should. It's not so like there's nothing wrong with you. And there are a lot of people that have experienced what you're experiencing. You're not alone in this world. I may not have the same experiences as you, but I know there are 7 billion people in this world. There are people that have had experiences like you. And you can be able to relate. And the only way to move forward or to get over something is to face it, is to go through it. You can't go around it. You can't go behind it. You have to go through it. I know it's scary, but it's the only way to do it. There's no other way.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
You hear Brittany?
Yeah,
It's like
loud
you're
and
hearing
clear.
from an expert here.
Yeah.
Loud and clear, right?
Yeah.
All right, my next question, guys. How is your support system now?
I really think my support system was really low up until my anorexia got really bad. Like the only I think my mom really doesn't understand the severity of things until it gets to the bad part where she's like, okay, something is really wrong. Because I think it started like in December 2021. I remember making a TikTok video, a private one, but I was saying about how people congratulate me when I eat, although I would say I don't have an appetite the whole day. I was hungry, but I would say that. And I realized that that was when it started. I didn't even realize up until um, late last year when my friends and my family, literally everybody around me, my parents, my friends, my coworkers were all like, Abby, why are you getting so slim? I dropped pounds in months. My collarbones were out here. I was very slim. I think I was weighing like 120. And I usually weigh like a 40 or 150. I was really
Right.
slim.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that's when my mom, I remember one day she came to me and she was like, Abigail, you need to eat. And she started getting emotional. And she was like, you don't look okay. You're not okay. You need to eat. And I think that's when I started going to therapy as well. Ever since she realized the severity of my anorexia, I think she realized that I really and truly was not okay. And the support from her became better. She would now ask me, how was that therapy session or how are you feeling today? How did today go? Or how was your week or stuff like that. Um, I always had the support of my friends. Always. But with having that support system of my parents, it made me feel better that she could finally see. I felt like she didn't really see me when it came onto my mental health. So it felt nice to finally have her see
Have
that.
it. Finally have that support.
Yeah.
Because maybe that's the support you really,
That I
really
needed.
wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Britannia?
Um, the support now, I don't think it's the best, to be very honest, because a lot happened last year. I lost a couple of my friends, and just, when you're going through that phase where you're losing people in your life, yeah. And then with the whole health thing, my stepfather told me something that really sat with me last year. He has diabetes, right? So we both relate as we come on to like the health part. He said, Britannia, it sounds bad, but nobody cares that much if you're sick. And it's true when you sit down and think about it, like, they don't really care that much. And is when he started saying that, I started to realize that people really don't get it. They really don't get it. When I would say that I'm not feeling the best today, they think I'm pulling either a sick card or I'm just being miserable. And it was kind of like hurtful because I was going through real stuff. And I just felt like, when you're closed in a room and you're trying to bang on a door and there's nobody to open it for you. That's how I was feeling for the most part of my life. I have like 3 friends, a very small, well, not 3, I'm being exaggerated, but I have like a very small friend group and they're not really all that closely situated. So now it's just like my one friend, Jamaica, or a friend from abroad, or my other childhood best friend. Like, it really isn't that much. And here and there, my stepfather, but I don't even see my stepfather that much because I don't live with my mom. I'm mostly situated with my dad. And being with my dad kind of really cripples me and forces me to be in a box because, when you just don't have that good relationship, you just feel like you should just shut up and just to make everything better. Just keep to yourself, So
I get it 100%. That's me with my dad as well.
Yeah.
real dad. My stepdad is such a sweetheart.
same.
I love my real dad.
There's so
as
much
well.
things you have in common with each other.
I love my biological dad, and I always love my dad. But whenever I'm around my dad, I'm quiet and I'm reserved
Yeah.
because I feel like if I speak, there will always be a problem.
There's always an
I don't have the
argument and
best
a
relationship
fight.
with my dad either. To be honest, my father is such a touchy topic.
Same.
It's like, you know, when you have fathers that are present yet absent.
Yes.
My father is in my life and he provides for me financially, and I love my dad from to the moon and back. But he's just not there. My dad doesn't know my favorite food. My dad doesn't know I think
It
he
does
only
not know
knows
you.
my age and my name.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know me as his daughter, and he's never put out that effort to try to know me, and it hurts because I feel like if he wasn't here, then I would understand. But just the fact that he is alive and when he's present and he's still not putting out that effort, it's like,
You're not trying.
am I not here? Do
You
I
don't
not
mean that much.
anything?
Yeah.
You know?
You see, all that we've been talking about, all from the beginning, when you mentioned your abuse, your what happened to you in your childhood. Look at our conversation have escalated. You now are pointing out different aspects of your life that can contribute to your anxiety,
Yeah.
to your phobias, because your relationship with your dads are not
The best.
the best. And you got sexually assaulted, which led you on a path almost to destruction.
Yeah.
And you know, with your illness, what you have done, you have developed a blockage, like you put up this wall that persons won't come in. So, and you are saying that this is it. You don't understand. People don't understand. And you know what? I am not I'm not a therapist. But just by listening to your conversation, I can kind of like summarize that what it is that for you, Brittany, you are a very strong will young woman, and you're very strong, and you think you can do this. I can do this. I can do it on my own. I can make it. The reason why I really kind of relate to you is because I kind of have that same thinking that I can do it all by myself. I can just do it. You get me? So, but at the end of the day, Brittany, we do need people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to
You
learn that.
understand?
Yeah.
And we
you
do need help.
Mhm.
If we cannot make it on our own, yes, God is there, but He also placed people in our lives to help
For a
us
reason.
for a reason.
Yeah.
So, what my 1-2 advice is kind of like take Abigail's step, like get professional help and see how best that will help you, and speak your mind. If you're going to be closed off, no one would hear your voice. So you need to start speaking and speak your mind. Abigail, girl, I can applaud you.
Thank you.
I can really applaud
I've
you
grown a lot.
for really taking the steps for what all that you've been through. I have one final question, and I don't even know if I want to ask, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it still because I think you have answered it in our discussion where you talked about your friends. You really talked about your friends and how important your friends are throughout your situation, throughout your battles, and what exactly is their take on it? You have mentioned that your friend Abigail was the one who really pushed you to really seek help. And you have mentioned that your friends are the only one you think really listens to you. So what is your take? What kind of advice do your friends share with you?
I have a lot of friend groups. I know a lot of people all over from different walks of life. But there's this one friendship group that I'm really close with, always with, and then there's just one person in the friendship group that's just my best friend. I love her to death. And that's Jazara. Jazara, I love her. she she was my first friend after everything happened to me with that whole sexual assault and losing the person that was my best friend.
Right.
And I remember I gave her a rough time though we just started being friends. A rough time. It was really hard to really open up to her because I was so scared that something like that would happen to me again. And I know in the midst of all me being so scared, I know I kind of hurt her in a sense of just completely shutting her out. Like how I used to literally say, my mind is closed off right now. Like I am not speaking anymore. I would always do that, and I know it hurt her, but she didn't give up on me, and she continued to work with me. She made sure to give me the space until I felt comfortable enough to open up about things like that, and I did eventually. And when she saw me going through manic episodes and all my mental health stuff, she was the one to say, Abigail, okay, it's time you need to get help. She used to come with me after work to have a tree and sit down with me and buy me food to make sure that I eat something. And she lived in Spanish Town. We were in Kingston. And she would stay there until 9, 10 o'clock. She don't care what time she's going home. She wants to make sure that I eat. And things like that, having friends like that, having a person like that in your life to really be there as your backbone is really important. And I used to think that I could do it on my own.
Yeah.
I used to think, I don't need nobody on my side. You just need me. But I realized when she came into my life, and then, all the rest of my other friends slowly came in, I realized that having that one person that you can just get a hug and you can just fully drop your mask, drop the curtains, and just let yourself be and cry it out, it really
Does a lot.
really does a lot more than people think it actually does. It really helps. It really does.
My friends, I mean, as I said, they don't really have much to say, but my friends are more doers than talkers. So sometimes my friend would be at the doctor's with me, or they want to see physical documentation of what the test results say. Or there's this time when I had a really big argument with my dad, and it went physical, and I was actually on the phone call with like two of my closest friends, and like they basically saw how the whole thing played out. And so like I think eventually the phone they cut off, but like they called back to see if I'm okay. And at a point, my father was basically telling me to come out the house. And they called my other friend that was like, she lived down the road from me. So she came for me and she dropped me to the other girl's place so that I could just, clear my head. And then we prayed together and stuff. And even her mom also has a huge impact in my life. Like, she's like my second mom. She's the other person that could say that she truly sits down and listens and gives wholesome advice. But yeah, my friends are really the doers. I think even the same day another friend did pull up, but they never come inside because they didn't want to intervene. But like later down in life, they would always try and be around me and make sure that I don't feel left out. They would, they're the type of friends to be like, I'm going out to this event, you're coming, because I have this thing where I don't like to be alone. I personally, how some people are like introverts? I'm an ambivert. So sometimes I need to like recharge, but other times I can't stand the four walls in my room. I really can't stand it. So they would be like, Bree, just come. And that's what they are. That's what they do. And I love them for it, God knows.
Ladies, I just want to thank you so much for sharing your stories. As I said before, you're a very strong, resilient young woman. And Abigail, just take my 2 cents. Girl, you are absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so don't even bother think it again ever.
Facts.
Okay?
Facts.
All right, and Brittany, put on the wall. Yeah. All right, put down those walls and just know that you're awesome and you can do all things. Guys, help is available. Please call 876-633-7433 for more information. And with that being said, we'll be right back after this short break. And that's it for us today. Join us next week as we tackle another interesting topic. Now, guys, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Real Talk Jamaica and to like and subscribe our YouTube channel. So, until then, good night.